Hi, everyone. This is myself, Carrie, and the show. Remember what it's called, right? You know, because you've been listening, right? So we got, what's it called again? Aviya, do you know what show you're on? Let's see. Beyond the Accent, was it, right? Okay,
Yes.
there we go. And today, I've already said it. I'm joined by Aviya, an accent coach whose story I just love, love, love. She's originally from Israel, now based in LA. And if you ask me, she's got serious Gal Gadot vibes, striking, confident, but also disarmingly warm. Okay. She has spent over 8 years coaching people all around the world, I take it, actors, creators, professionals, and she's been helping them find not just clarity in their speech, but also genuine confidence, like the real stuff in their voice. What I love about her is that she's been on the other side. So Hebrew is her first language, and she's lived the immigrant experience. Like, she knows in her bones what it means to carry multiple identities in one voice. She knows the stuff, okay? She's been there. I've been there. So we've got some stuff in common. And we're going to talk about identity, multilingualism, and what it really takes to develop authentic confidence. I hate the word authentic, but I like, the meaning behind it.
It's true.
And I've talked for a minute. So Aviya, hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, first of all, Carrie. This fact that you just introduced me in the best way possible makes me the happiest in the world, and you couldn't done better, really. And I'm excited to share some knowledge and experiences that we've had, both of us, throughout the years. So let's do it.
Absolute. Okay, I like that. But still, I do want you to kind of introduce yourself the way you want to do it. So when someone goes, okay, so, when you were at a party and we're doing small talk, and they're like, okay, so where do you come from? What do you do? What's your story? What's your thing? What is it that you normally tell them? Like, what do you want to tell them?
No, that's a good question. So, first of all, you said my name. My name is Aviya Gavriel, just like the angel. And I moved to LA when I was 13. So I grew up in Israel in a very, very small village. Even people in Israel don't know the place. So it was very naturey. I would walk barefoot all the time. I was very like a nature girl. School was a little thing that I had to do. And when I moved here, it was because my mom remarried. It was her second marriage here. And I remember when I moved, it was such a big shock because in Israel, I grew up very religious. So in religious schools, Orthodox Jewish schools, they don't teach you much English. Well, they teach you the very basic just for the sake of it, And then when I came here to LA, not only it was such a big shock, the culture and everything, especially LA, matcha and the drama, everything's like, oh. And then you have to be like, okay, I'm Israeli. I'm not used to all this. I wasn't even a city girl in Israel. And then not only that, you have to find a way to express yourself. And I'm very expressive. I love to talk and I love to share my thoughts and opinions, even when I was younger. And it was such a big change. And that's where my journey started. That's how everything had begun. When I was in high school, I was in a private high school, girls only, Jewish high school. And I remember I was looking for a way, being able to not only express myself, but also being myself. Because I felt like I'm in a show and I'm pretending to be someone that I'm not. And I hated that every moment of it, because for me, my confidence is me being who I am. This is who I am right now with the way I'm speaking to you. This is how I speak with my mom, with my dad. That's how I want to speak with everyone. And when I felt like it's taking away from me, I felt lost. And also finding friends. Everything was very, very challenging. So I was like, okay, you're putting me on a task. Oh, I got it. And then I just started really researching on every way possible that how can I improve myself? How can I express myself? And I was very young, 13. So I remember a professor one time kind of gave us, a lecture to listen to. And I noticed something. That's where everything started. I noticed that I muted the video for a sec. And I just looked at the professor speaking and I looked at his mouth. I'm like, huh, the way he speaks, it's so much different than the way that we speak. Not just the way he moves his mouth. Because in Hebrew, when we move our mouth, we're really like everything is so small and we speak like this and very, 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 very fast. And then in English, he moved his mouth so wide and big and everything was so much more expressive. And I'm like, okay, this is how I need to do it. So this was the starting point. This is how it all started. So this is who I am. I'm just a girl who wanted to succeed in school. And then it just went on and on.
That's such an original opening. Okay. So it all started with some professor's mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In a way. I mean, of course, it starts internally, right?
Yeah.
Interiorly. How my French teacher always wants me to say intérieur instead of internal. I always make up words. Right. I'm like, what is this? Why don't say this? This shouldn't exist. Okay.
Oh my gosh. You're learning French?
Yes, I'm pretty good at it, apparently.
Wow.
Right. I'm getting good. It's only taken me 8 years, but yeah. Getting there.
Now I'm learning Spanish. I'm like, okay, in 8 years, I might know a few more words.
Yeah. About a decade, you guys.
Yeah.
What I really want to touch upon is your background. That is, it says on your page, psychology, right?
Right.
And I really want to get into that because it does, play into how you go about coaching and how you go about, well, I take it everything in your professional life, in your personal life, in your languaging, in your communicating, what have you. So what's up with that? So you a psychologist? What's going on?
So right now I'm in CSUN. It's a university here in LA, in Northridge. So I'm getting my master's and, you just get your knowledge through that. And I use it almost every day because it gives you, even right now, it gives you so much understanding of the person that you're standing in front of. And not only that, it gives you knowledge about yourself. And when you're aware of yourself, so maybe before I started, I'm like, okay, I might feel a little nervous. What does that mean? Why do I feel nervous? Because I want to be perfect? I don't need to be perfect. So psychology is a big part of who I am. When I was younger, I remember people telling me, you're a psychologist. Like older people, I would speak with my teachers about their divorce for some reason. And I remember that, really. I remember like weird situations where I felt like people open up with me when I was just like 7 years old. And then throughout life, I was like, okay, I really want to do it. I really want to help people. I feel like we're here in this world for a mission. And this is how it started for me. I finished high school at 11th grade and started university and college. Right then, I started also working as a teacher, English teacher. And then I was like, oh, I can kind of take both of these elements and combine them together. So if I take psychology and learning a language and combine it, I get so much deeper understanding of this entire thing. Because when I learned a new language, when I learned English, it wasn't about the language. It was about finding myself, finding my confidence, first of all, to start even speaking. Because for example, I'm sure you're getting it as well. When we start teaching someone, they're like, listen, I understand so much, but when I have to speak, I don't know what's happening. I'm blocked. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I look at them. Listen, when you're speaking Hebrew, of course you got confidence. You got it all. You know what to say. You're speaking with someone that you can understand. But then when you switch to a different language, for example, English, which is a language that you're having a difficult time speaking, then you're getting out of your comfort zone. And then you're actually understanding who you really are. Because a person can only understand who they are when they're getting out of their comfort zone. So when you're getting out of your comfort zone, and then you're seeing that, wait, I'm actually going to tell my friend to speak for me. Maybe you need to find yourself again out of this, box that you're used to. So then this is where psychology comes in. This is where we work on challenging yourself and putting yourself in situations where you don't want to be.
Mm.
So, for example, many times my homework for my students, just like it did right now, I had a student before this podcast,
Mm.
and I told her, it's not enough for us to have this Zoom meeting and learn many, many words, many grammar rules. It's not enough. I move on to my next student, but what happens when you're done? You have to take what we learn and use it, which means if all of your friends are Israelis, for her, it's actually the opposite because she learned Hebrew. But let's say if all of your friends are Americans, then you have to find a few more friends that speak Hebrew. Or even putting yourself in an awkward situations where you call someone and you can't run away from that, right? You just have to be in that scenario. And yes, your ears are going to turn red. And yes, you're going to feel like, yeah, I don't want to do this. Like, why am I doing this to myself? But that's where you learn. So this is the combination of how we can combine psychology and learning a language.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Okay.
think? Have you ever had that as well when you kind of felt in the beginning when you only
Well,
started
my whole
learning?
life, I still feel it. Jesus. Okay. It's
Really?
just like, of course. I mean,
I love that.
yeah, my whole life is a big, fat discomfort zone, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as my journey, psychologically speaking and psychiatrically speaking, because I've got 2 diagnoses, OCD and ADHD, and I'm real familiar with that department. I know a lot about not wanting to be in certain situations and not wanting to talk, but ending up talking, not wanting to go someplace and be around some people, but ending up doing it anyways because, well, you just gotta get out there. And but it also took me, I want to say, it took me a couple years to really get out the
Well,
stupid comfort zone.
I know. It takes time. It's a process and you see what I know. We say it's a process, but we also see the progress. So it's so important to look back and be like, where was I and where am I now? And then
Hmm.
it's kind of getting a reflection of what's going on, what's reality, you know?
Absolute. But it's it always takes us, we all come from this from this land called childhood, you know.
Yeah.
And everyone's got it different, but we also, like with Tolstoy, I wouldn't be able to quote it in English probably right off the bat, but
Yeah.
with each family, the happiness of it is pretty much the same, but the unhappy moments, they all differ. And but everyone's got their own trauma. I hated that, comfort zone, trauma, trigger, all those words are being misused and they become buzzwords
Right.
for, they're being exploded across social media, and they just kind of lost their original meaning, which is really,
Wow.
really,
I
really
agree.
unfortunate.
Oh my gosh, it's so true.
Like, oh, I stood in line for like 5 minutes. I'm traumatized. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah,
So
I know. Like anxiety. People use these words, OCD. They're using these words so easily.
tell me about it.
And I just
I'm OCD is what they
I
say.
know. I work with people that are OCD and I know what it is. So when people use it so easily, even
Mm.
I remember when, for example, when I came to the US to high school, I remember the girls, here in LA we call it Valley girls. They speak like
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
they're like the Kardashians, and I love them. I have nothing against them. It was so
Sure.
different from who I was, and I remember this word, anxiety. And I was like, what's anxiety? What's even anxiety? Why are they using it so much? Oh my gosh, I have anxiety. We have a test tomorrow. I'm like, okay, do I have anxiety as well? And then I looked into it and I noticed, like, now that I'm studying it and I'm really into all that stuff, I know that we
Mhm.
should not use these words so easily because people that do handle anxiety and OCD and whatever it is, it's not fair. It's not fair.
There's anxiety, and then there's anxiety,
Yeah,
and
you
then
can
there's
be
anxiety.
stressed, you can be nervous, but it
Right.
doesn't mean that you have anxiety. Are you able to breathe?
Yeah, we need
Are
more
you
words,
Yeah.
y'all. Yeah. Like, oh, I had a panic attack.
Yeah.
Really? Did you? Did you?
Yeah, it's a way of like expressing, drama. We're drama here in LA, in
Absolutely, drama
America.
queens, y'all. I mean, I get it, I guess. And again, as a language person, I get it. But
Yeah,
then,
you
yeah,
know,
it's
you
problematic.
know.
There's something to it. There's something to it that needs to be looked into. But
Exactly. I agree. Oh my gosh, you get it. Thank God, someone who gets me. When we speak about confidence, yes, some people are born with this trait of confidence. You can see a child standing and telling all their family to sit down and watch them dance. And there were those kids who just prefer to sit down quietly and just watch the other one. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this one is more confident than the other. It just means that they have different traits. But confident is something that we can actually work on. It's just like a skill. Maybe you won't be that comfortable with it, but it's still something that you can work on. When I work with actresses or people that are working on stages and they have to stand and speak in front of thousands of people, and they're like, oh, they do have confidence, but it's still standing in a place when you're not comfortable. So there is a difference here. There is confidence, which I'm confident in who I am. I know what I'm about to say. I'm knowledgeable about the topic. Good. But now you should also find yourself putting yourself out there. And then, as we said before, getting out of your comfort zone. And those are two different things. So even if you're feeling nervous, even if you're feeling those feelings, it does not mean you're not confident. But if a person is limiting themselves and blocking themselves of doing that action, okay, we have to work on your confidence. And how do we do that? Like, how do we actually start doing that?
by doing this stuff, that is the thing, right?
Exactly.
And that's the cause and effect thing. And it's just like something that I couldn't quite understand for quite some time. I thought, okay, well, I develop the confidence and then I can do the stuff. I work out a way to feel the confidence, and then things are going to start happening. Then I'm going to publics, I'm going to speak publicly. I'm going to do that interview. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to call this person. I'm going to do this and that. And I really, truly believe that I really cared. I really wanted for it to be true. Okay. So
you're not the only one. I
had like workbooks and, and all those self-help books, and I would listen to this podcast and that podcast. And I really, truly, I was so eager, please do develop confidence. I mean, I'm doing all those things for you to be there. But all those books said the same thing, you got to start doing for it to actually start developing.
I actually love it. I love the way you just expressed how you felt and what you told yourself, because, I hear it every day. I work with people and I hear it every day. No, I will do it, but I first need to know how to speak. No, I will do it. I just want... Listen, you have to start. And I get it, because we were all there. I was there. I felt that moment the same way as you did. I really do remember those situations where I had to be out there. It could be, I don't even talk about speaking on stages. This is a different story. I talk about the fact that I need to get up and be in front of the entire class and say, hi, my name is Aviya. I'm from Israel. I'm 13 years old, and sit down. It was a few sentences about myself, but I felt like I cannot do this. I'm going to get up and tell them I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom.
It is a stage in a way. You feel like you're under a microscope, right? I mean, and I totally relate to that. It's a lot of pressure. I mean, you cultivate that pressure. It's coming from within, but it's a story you tell yourself, so it's very real.
And it connects to what you said before about trauma and childhood. It all comes from that. There is a reason why we feel this way. And this little child within us is kind of saying something at this specific time. Maybe it's a voice that they heard in their childhood saying, no, you're not good enough, or don't do this. You shouldn't do that. No, Carrie, sit down. Don't talk like this, all right? Right? All those quieting voices in our head that we actually heard from other people. And maybe those people did not mean harm to us, but it's still there. It is still there. And it's important to go back to that child. And I know it's so cliche to use these terms, but it's true. Go back, think with yourself. If this kid would have to do it, would they do it without all those voices, with just, this innocence? Would they do what I need to do right now? Would they care what other people think? When I opened my Instagram account, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is so awkward. Am I going to do this? Am I going to actually record myself speaking and upload? Like, it's so awkward. Am I doing this? And then I was just telling myself, who cares? Just do what you feel like you want to do. If you want to share your voice, share your voice. If you want to color your hair pink, color your hair pink. It's beautiful. And just like, I wish more people would understand that.
It's a rebellion of sorts, you know. A lot of people do check in with me, like, okay, so what is the color of your hair? What's beneath whatever it is that you've done with yourself? And I'm like, well, I'm blonde, which is exactly why it's so easy for me to do this. And, a lot of people kind of, they're surprised. They're all, why would anyone color blonde? That is the kind of color a lot of people would stick with. And a blonde person with a cute little face, is like the angelic kind of image that I believe I had a number of years ago. That sort of image, I didn't like having that to myself. I don't want to project that. So I did know that I needed something that would tell people visually, no, badass over here. No angels here, y'all. So, and there are, and you just sort of intuitively, you find that, and it's not like I was sitting someplace, journaling and figuring out a way, in stages. How do I go about this? How do I scream with my hair and my style, whatnot? Rebellion, revolution, steer clear. It wasn't really like that. I just wanted it to be pink because it made sense. So,
I also think that it starts there. It starts there when you actually start with the little things, like coloring your hair. Like, let's say you want to wear this shirt, but maybe someone said doesn't look so good, but you like this shirt, so you're putting on this shirt. The building confidence is starting not with, okay, I'm gonna go on stage and talk on TED Talk, whatever. No, it starts on putting the shirt you like, coloring the hair the way you want, and regarding blonde hair, cute face, these are stereotypes, and it's so hard to live in a world where we have those stereotypes. Oh, you're Israeli? Oh, you're probably this, and that. Oh, you're Russian? You're this. Oh, you have blonde hair? It's so consuming, and that's the hard part. How do I find myself within all those stereotypes that a person would see me, they might hear even a little bit of an Israeli accent, and then right away they put me in a box. Right away. They don't know anything about me, but that's what they do. So that's the thing with us. We should also ask ourselves, are we okay with it? Or am I changing myself because of it? If I do, why am I doing it? So all those things are a path on building confidence, just going back to what we spoke about a few minutes ago. So I think this is a beautiful example. Your hair. You just did it.
Right. Did take me a while, again, because you don't know at times. It's a station you gotta sort of get to. You arrive there eventually. It does make a lot of sense. And back to the phrasing that you went with. Why do we care what people think, right? So I think it takes a good therapist to get to a profound understanding. Why do we care what people think? Oftentimes it's not the people, it's the one person, like the little voice inside, like you said, it's that particular individual. It could be the mom, it could be the dad, da 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 da. It could be that teacher. And it's so helpful to know who the person is, to really truly be able to attribute the voice to the person
100%.
and to really have a comprehensive understanding of where this, the narration that you've got going constantly inside your head is coming from. Because for the longest time, you'd be like, but I don't care. Or like, no, I don't care what other people think. It's me who cares. But then it turns out that it's not exactly you. It's that someone inside, your psyche, and there's so many layers to it. And there's, years upon years of academic research, not academic, you guys take note of that. Academic research. So, and it's just like, there's so much help that you can get for it that's well informed, and it's just going to help you make better sense of what's going on with you. So
I agree 100%. It reminds me one time I spoke with my friend, and she had that thing that she still does. And I love her. She's okay with me speaking about it, I'm sure. And she has this thing. She always wears makeup before she goes out. Even if it's like to the supermarket just to get milk. So I remember one time I asked her, like, you're so, like, I don't mind, I wear makeup, I love makeup, but why do you have to wear it all the time when you're at home, when we're best friends? She's like, no, I can't see myself with it's for me. It makes me feel prettier. I'm like, okay. But then I was like, can I do something with you? She's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, I'm your best friend. We can do this, right? She's like, when you're thinking about your childhood, what is the first thing, the negative thing that comes up to your mind, your brain? Don't even think about what we were just speaking, just what comes up. She's like, oh my gosh, I remember when I had acne.
Okay.
My dad told me that it looked so bad that I might just he would tell me to cover myself because it was very, very bad. So just remember that when he told me that, I was so hurt. But my dad loves me and didn't care. But that's the only bad memory childhood that I have. I was like, did you notice how it connects? Acne, makeup, our traumas and everything that we feel that was in the past, maybe you forgot about it. It's not there, just like you said, it's not there. I'm okay. I'm putting makeup because I like it. I don't mind what other people think. That's what I like. But no, something is there, because if you're like at your home, you don't want to have makeup on your face right now. Come on, let's be real. That's what I told her. Come on. You don't want to have makeup. And she's like, oh, okay, you're right. And then it was this process of, first of all, to understand, where is it coming from? Why do I have this thing? And then you can kind of deeper work on it,
Absolute. Right. Yeah. The reflection,
Yeah.
it all starts there. But then again, it can't just be, nilly-willy. There's got to be something that's driving it, and there's got to be someone to hold your hand through it. And that someone's got to have done the research.
The most important part. You cannot go through this alone. In Hebrew we say "Aseh lecha rav." Make yourself.
Okay, wait, okay, don't stop. Talk to me some more.
Aseh lecha rav. So
okay, what does it mean? Yeah,
it means make yourself a rabbi. Now, a rabbi does not necessarily mean a person with a hat in black and white. It means a person who's knowledgeable and that you feel that you can have this connection with wisdom, and they will give you the truth. So, make yourself a rabbi. Make sure that in your life you have this one person that you can go there and just be like, listen, I have this thing. I need your advice. Listen, I'm going through this thing. What should I do? Because sometimes we cannot go to our spouses or to our family. We just need this one person who's knowledgeable, who's wise, and to get this advice, and not from someone, or either from my head. A lot of people just make their decisions from their head, and that's also a big mistake. So,
yeah. Because there's so many voices in the head, right? Exactly, right. And we don't even know. Okay. Yeah,
you got it.
Those were all the voices, okay? I mean, not to come off as someone who's got multiple personalities to herself, but you guys, we've all got more than one voice in there, okay? Let's be real for a sec.
True.
Okay. So you moved when you were around the age of 13, and I really want to talk about this because, first of all, you were a teenager. Okay, 13 is a very tough age per se, and then you move at the age of 13, and that is double trouble. I don't know, triple trouble, quadruple trouble. That's a lot of trouble. That's a lot of trouble for one in the same brain, for one in the same psyche. Good Lord. But I mean, it's fun and all, but oh my God.
You're taking me back. In this tunnel of thinking about this 13-year-old girl. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her. It was very, very rough. But listen, I grew up in a family where you have to be strong. And There's no room to complain. And I grew up this way, not just me, like my siblings were like that. And I'm the youngest, so I did get some more attention. I'm going to start from the beginning. My parents are divorced for many, many years. They divorced when I was only 4 years old.
Mhm.
And then my dad got married right away, and he had 3 more children. And then my mom, she lived on, imagine a mountain, all right? And then on
Mhm.
the top of the mountain, there is a house. This is where we lived, me, my mom, and my sisters. And then my sister, my oldest sister, she got married with an American guy that
Mhm.
lived here in LA. So she moved here. And then my mom was very sad because now she's divorced. Now her daughter left just with me and my other sister, who's 5 years older than me. And she was sad. She asked questions. She asked, "We believe in God." She was like, "Why? Come on, why? Why do you? Okay, my daughter needs to get married. I'm happy for her, but why does she has to go this far away?" Then after 5 years, my sister was like, "Okay, Ima, mom, you have to come to LA. You have grandchildren. Like this is not okay. I'm buying you a ticket." My mom argued, was like, "No, no, no, no. What are you doing? No, no, no." It's like, "Ima, this is it. You're coming." All right. My mom came here. And then one time, my sister and another friend was like, "I have someone that maybe you should meet." And my mom was like, "What? What do you think? I'm here to see my grandchildren, my daughter. Never flew before to anywhere in the world. This is crazy." Like, "No, no,
Mhm.
listen, he's amazing." And then my sister was like, "Ima, you have to do this. Who cares? This is fun. Go. Just go on a date. Who cares?" My mom, which is so randomly weird, I cannot even describe how different it is from her character. She was like, "Okay." And then she went on a date and she met this person. His name is Chaim. Chaim means life in Hebrew. And I always say his name is just like, that's who he is. He's filled with life. He's the best person ever. And she got married with him after 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So not only she decided to move to LA because he lived in LA, she got married really, really fast. I was 13, something like that, 12. And I was like, "What?" I just remember the shock and I started crying. She's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I'm so happy for Ima." At the same time, I was like so nervous. My life is going to change so drastically. Oh my gosh.
Might I even say anxious a little bit.
Yeah, very anxious. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it actually happened. We moved to LA. And I remember I would cry a lot, but I would never tell. I would smile and I would be very happy. And everyone would see someone that's like a very happy child. And my sister, my oldest sister, I'm so connected with, she was like, "Are you okay? I know this is a lot. How are you handling this?" It's like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I really am fine." You know, this Ross thing
I'm
from Friends.
fine.
I know my heart was so loud and squeaky, but I'm fine. So this was me, and then high school. High school was the
Yeah.
hardest because I love perfection.
Mhm.
I love to succeed. I love to learn. I enjoy school. Like I was not a nerdy girl, but I enjoy studying. And I hated the fact that it was not enjoyable. It was a nightmare because
Mhm.
even if I would do math, all of a sudden math is in English. Wait, how do you say
Mhm.
multiplication in Hebrew? It's a different word. So
Yeah.
I had to start from the beginning, from the like bottom, bottom, bottom.
Yeah.
And I built my way up. I had this a wonderful lady. The school got me this lady. She would be like my tutor. And I'm so thankful for her. Now when I sometimes I email her, she doesn't even have WhatsApp or anything. I email her and I tell her how thankful I am. And I just show her how the wheel is spinning, you know? One time I
Mhm.
was the one studying and having a very hard time expressing myself and doing homework and doing tests. And now it's such a beautiful journey.
You know what? So this is where, now you can reflect back on what was going on with you in terms of the language and psychology of your journey. So I was wondering, the Hebrew speaking self and the English speaking self, culturally, linguistically, and all that's in between. Would you say that there were two different versions of you? Well, I mean, of course, there were at first, but then had they ever become like the one continuous kind of Aviya? Or is it still like there's two of you, or do they kind of go, okay, we're separate, we're together, we're separate, we're together? Or do we not really know? Like, what's it like for you,
Oh my
would
gosh,
you
this is
say?
an excellent question. And I hope all my students listen to this podcast right now.
Okay, you guys, listen up, listen up.
Please
It's coming.
listen. Yes. When you speak a different language, something within you changes. Okay. And I'm not the one who's saying it. It's research based.
It is.
So,
It is. I confirm. Yeah. Okay.
yes.
I'm going to shut up now.
For example, if I speak Hebrew, automatically my voice goes lower. כשאני מדברת עברית הרבה יותר נמוך. Much lower. Bus, right? So they taught us when we speak Hebrew, you have to be sharp. You have to be ha, da. Everything is so like her. And then when I speak English, my voice goes louder and squeaker, and my tone is changing, and my mouth is moving differently. So if something is physically changing, my brain is physically listening to the way I'm changing my voice, to the way that I speak. It's a different accent. It's a different entire thing, right? Automatically, my brain, if something is physically changing, something in your mentality changes as well. So yes, when I speak Hebrew, I'm not a totally different person, but it's a one version of Aviya. And then when I speak English, it's another version of me. They're both me, but it's still different. So I like to give an example. It's like if I play guitar and I play piano, it's still me playing, but I played two different instruments. So if something within you feels like it's changing, it's normal. You know, so many students of mine, when they start, like, listen, I want to learn English. I don't care about the accent, but I do want to be clear. I want people to understand me. But I don't want to feel like I'm not myself. You know, it's weird. I'm like, listen to me now. Listen, dude.
No, you listen.
No, you listen
Sit
to me.
down.
Yeah. If you want people to actually understand you and not have this, like as we said before, stereotypes, he's Israeli right away, his English is not good, then we do have to work on your accent, which means, yes, you will feel a little different, and that's okay. Something in the culture should be as well within the language, right? When I speak, like here in LA, girls say a lot, literally. I don't know if they do that in LA, in New York. Do they do that literally?
Well, you are going to get condemned for it, so so you might as well, you know.
I don't care.
Cut down on it.
I know, but it's true. It's true because it's like a slang, right? So in Hebrew, we have chaya b'seret, live in a movie. I cannot say it in English. So they're like slangs and terms that we cannot use in different languages. So it means something within you changes as well. So for me, when I go back, when I just came here, I couldn't handle it. Am I being fake?
Oh my God, that's such an interesting moment. That's the question I get asked the most. How do I not be fake? I'm like, well, you got to think different about this, because some parts of you are not going to translate, and that is okay.
Yes.
You got to extend yourself. Yes, you guys.
Yes.
ASMR.
Yes, I was about to say, we watch TikTok way too much.
I know. Cut down. Literally. Let's cut down.
But it's so true. You should just realize that it's okay to feel a little different. You shouldn't be scared of it. You know why I enjoy working with actors the most? Because they're not afraid of it. They're like, it's obvious.
They want to.
Yeah, I'll change my character. I need to do it. This is part of my job. So if I tell them, no, do the accent like her, and I work with them like red lawyer, yellow lawyer, all those things, and like they're into it. They do it all. And then when I work with someone that's not an actress, I still do the same things because there is no difference. The hard part, when I worked with one of my actors that I work with, he told me, listen, the producer said that for the audition, I should speak in English. I should be clear enough that people would understand me, but I should maintain my Israeli accent. That was so challenging to find that little line of how can I make sure the accent is there, but in a way that is still clear. Because I feel like I have it a little. I have an accent.
You got you're like Godot, but better.
Thank you.
Better. And
It's
I
the
know who
best
Godot worked
compliment.
with. I know her coach, and
Oh,
she's like the best. But
what's her name?
but
Can you
she's
say her
it's
name?
Samara Bay. But she's a
Samara
native.
Bay.
She's not as good as we are. Okay, no, right. I hope she
No,
doesn't
but
listen to
it's
this.
true because it's so important to have some. It's funny because many people think that no, I want someone who's fully whatever if they want to learn English, so American. But when you have
Mm-mm.
someone with your language, so they think the same way. So when I
Exactly.
teach an Israeli, I think just like you. I know where your brain is going. I know why it's hard for you to know when to put is, am, are, right? Because we don't have that in Hebrew.
Right,
We don't
right.
have these words. We don't have was and were. The word just
Mm-hmm.
changes. So when you have
Yeah.
someone who teaches you with an understanding just like yours, it's much better, especially when it comes to an accent. For example, if I teach someone, say, R, I know why it's hard for them because it was hard for me. Because we don't have R,
Oh,
we
I
have
like that.
resh.
I
Resh.
know why it's hard because it was hard for me. That is such an iconic
You know what?
quote.
I'm so curious. Like, I know how Russian accent is so harsh. It's like Israeli.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Mm-hmm.
hard for them to get rid of those H and like these
Oh, yeah.
vowels. You know, how did you do it? I'm like really curious to know.
I don't know.
You just had it. Like the question is, do you think you had it
Uh,
naturally with like something that it's easier for
mm,
you?
I wouldn't say so. I would say that I there was a lot of uh shall I say communicative trauma. And I will use the word trauma because
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was.
want to talk to people, y'all. I
Yeah.
wanted to just like not talk. I wanted to be mute. That's how afraid I was to be branded, not local enough, not good enough, not American enough, not whatever enough. That's how obsessed I was. Um when I was in American high school as an exchange student, back when I was 15 years of age, so I wasn't 13, I was 15. But it was just as bad in terms
Yeah.
of not knowing who you are, what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to, be part of the fabric of the society that you've been installed in all of a sudden. And it was just for a year, an academic year. I was staying with a host family in this small town. They've never seen a Russian. They've never heard of Russian. And I was told that I had an accent like every freaking day. Okay.
Like, oh,
And
you have an accent. Where are you from?
oh, yes, 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 yes. And sometimes it wasn't introduced to me nicely, but like I wasn't being bullied for it. It was just, they were just kids,
Huh.
what they were saying, because I don't know, it was wild. Looking back, it's just like, okay, well, that's fine. They were just children. They were just 15-year-olds. Like, oh my God, you have such a huge accent. Like that is not, there's no malice to it. And it's
Yeah.
just it's easier to explain that to yourself and to justify it. But there were some adults who were being such jerks. And they were supposed to protect me. They were like the managers at the agency that was in charge of my well-being. And they would give me a really hard time about how I talked in terms of how I self-presented. Like I was constantly being told that I was being rude,
Wow.
which had a lot to do with how I talked. And it had to do with my accent. It had to do with how I put words into sentences. It had nothing to do with my being a rude individual. And it really scarred me, like big time. So I got really, truly interested in how those things work. Let's put it that
Wow.
way.
So it's
So,
so interesting. Did you feel like it kind of enlightening fire within you? Like you felt like this
oh
fire.
yeah.
This could be a little bit of an anger of like, oh,
Oh,
I'm gonna
a little
prove them.
bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get that. I can relate. I
Yeah.
think for me, when you said that, it reminded me one time we had this show. I was in ninth grade, so it was my first year, and it wasn't a show. It was just like a class thingy, and we had to read from like this book, and we learned about history, okay? And we had to kind of tell the story in a show to our teacher, and then she knows we actually learned it. And I had to read it. Now, it was history, very difficult words. I remember I had to read it, and I was like, I had a hard time. And I remember the teacher started laughing when it was my turn. And I remember there's even a film of it. Can't post it. I wish I could, because she's there, her face. So maybe I can block her face.
I will blur it and post it, and it'll be all over TikTok.
Yeah, but I remember lifting my face and looking at her. She was laughing and then the other girl started laughing, and I wasn't sure if they're laughing about me. And I was like, can you stop? I was like, because I was shocked. Because are they laughing because of me? And I remember that it hit me. It was like, it's not just the girls. It's everyone. And I hated that because, as you can tell, this who you're seeing right now, I was the same when I was 13. Because I was very mature. And I hated the fact that people are not taking me seriously because of an accent or because of me learning a language. How many languages do you know? It's so funny. Some people tell me I'm so embarrassed to speak, and then I'm like, most of the people that you're speaking with know one language, so
they're
be proud of yourself.
monolinguals.
Yes, be proud of yourself that you're putting yourself out there. You're trying. You're learning. It shows so much about a person. The fact that you're learning French, I admire that. You don't have to do that. You're doing it, and I love that. You're doing it for 8 years.
For 8 years, y'all.
You know? That's worth clapping.
It's some determination right there. Right. Yeah. Well, kudos to my teacher as well. I mean, she's a huge part of it, you guys.
Yeah.
There you go. The teachers who don't freaking laugh. That's a big part of it.
Today's Yom Kippur, and I forgive her.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I do.
You know what? Yeah. Let's do that today. Let's forgive the jerks.
Forgive all the people that hurt us. Look at where it brought us. Where this was
very
part.
True. Very true.
It pushed us for a certain place, and I'm so thankful. Honestly, every little thing like that in life, I'm like, thank you, really thank you, because I would never realize what I know now. So it's all good. Thanks. Let's move on.
Oh, look at you. Okay. Fine. All right. I was more like, no. I want the name, the address. I want to kick her butt. No, I'm kidding.
I knew it.
Am I? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Okay.
Am I? No.
Okay. Because I always talk about this, the sense of belonging. And the person I mentioned, Gal Gadot, and her speech coach, she wrote a book named Permission to Speak. It's a great book. I very much propagate the stuff that she propagates. That is, give yourself permission. You are the one who gives yourself permission to talk. And again, you cannot just, go, okay, I'm confident now. We've just talked about this, right? Takes more than just one step, more than just one thought, more than one just, more just going, yeah, I'm over all the insecurities and I'm just going to do better in terms of treating myself different. No, it takes years sometimes, but you just got to keep at it. But the permission thing and the belonging, those are the two concepts that I always come back to in what I teach and how I go about it. So I was wondering, how do you go about sense of belonging when it comes to teaching and when it comes to your own journey? So you feel like you belong. So you strike me as someone who belongs. You strike me as someone who's developed that sense to herself. So I'm just wondering whether you feel like that is the case, and if so, how did you get there? The sense of, okay, yeah, I'm here. I like the word local. Like, I'm from here.
Yeah.
I'm not just like, this is where I'm at. This is where I live. I'm part of this place, and this place is part of me. Like,
yeah.
Is it part of your story? Is it true to you? Does it ring true to you?
I think it's a complex question, and now I tell you why.
Okay.
I think a sense of belonging is a bit harder when the culture, especially the
Yeah.
more you're growing up in a different culture, the
Yeah.
more years you had growing up, your childhood, your entire life almost,
True.
having it in such a different culture, then it's much harder to feel that you actually belong. Now, what
Mhm.
do I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
A person feels like they belong when they feel like they're being truthful, when they're being themselves.
Right.
Right? So I feel like I belong if right now when I speak with Carrie, I'm expressing what I think, what I feel, everything here is very true. And some people don't feel this way
Mhm.
because they feel like when they think about us telling them it's okay to feel a little different, right? They think
Mhm.
they need to pretend to be someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So even their thoughts, their opinions,
Mhm.
everything changes.
Mhm.
So then you go back to your house, home, room, whatever, and you're like, oh, I was being fake. I don't feel like I belong.
Mhm.
That's when you feel like you're not part of where you actually live. So feeling like a sense of belonging is very hard, I think, in my opinion, because many people that I work with and they live here in LA, they don't feel like they belong.
Mhm.
They're here for, many other reasons, but they
Right.
don't feel a sense of belonging.
Mhm.
And it's still something that I'm researching. It's still something that I think about because even me as a person,
Mhm.
I don't feel like we talk about, do we speak about a community or the country? Like, what are we talking about
Well,
specifically?
country, I would not say. Well, first of all, to me, there's New York, and then there's the United States. Like, I do
Yeah.
feel that they're not
It's
the
so true.
same. So,
Yeah.
New Yorker, am I a New Yorker? Absolutely. Once I get my citizenship, uh, well, I will think of myself as a U.S. citizen because I will be one factually, and there's a lot of values to the U.S. in its ideal form that I
Yeah.
very much relate to. But I
Yeah.
do think of myself as part of New York, and I have been for many years feeling that way. When
Yeah.
I was just a resident, when I was when my husband was on his H-1B visa, it still felt like I was a New Yorker. I was part of the fabric.
Yeah.
I
No,
it
you're a New
just,
Yorker. I could
you
feel that.
know,
The
you know,
energy.
it
Yeah.
just it just made sense. It clicked, and and that's New York. It's just really, really different than many places in the world. It's so
Yeah.
cosmopolitan. It's just like it's almost like you got to be different to fit in.
You just
You
said
got to
that
like
and
not
right away
belong
you
anywhere else or
you
something.
took me to the Sex and the City when you said cosmopolitan. I'm like, "Ah." I love
Yeah,
that show. I
Georgia
just finished it.
Cosmo.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
think it depends. That's exactly the point
yeah.
where if you don't feel like you belong, it means it's you need to try a different place maybe because
Hmm.
there are some things that happen naturally, just like you had with New York, and some things are not happening like that. And I think it's important to be aware of the fact that if you're being yourself and you're just feeling, this is truly me, this is who I am, and I just feel like this is your charm also, use it. Sometimes I tell my students, use your Israeli charm. I use it all the time. And it's you don't need to think I need to get rid of my entire identity to belong. No, be yourself, and then whoever needs to be part of your life and all those people that you need around you will accept you and love you. So I think even if it comes to community, it's the same thing. So for me, a sense of belonging, I still research this idea. I'm not sure if a person actually belongs to where they decide they belong. Do they belong to where they grew up?
For sure. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there is a ton of research on that for sure. And there's so many angles.
Yeah,
There's for kids like yourself. I think there's a term third space. It's like you're not. You no longer you're no longer in Israel. You're not really in LA culturally. It's like you're in this third space in between. It's almost like a headspace. It's like
exactly.
there's a special place where there's you and all those people like yourself who are in
Yeah.
between, and it's a constant in betweenness, and it's gorgeous, and there's so much specialness to it. you know?
It's true, especially here where the Israeli and the Jewish communities are so big. It's so funny because here in LA, it's like this, we call it the small Israel, because you feel like so many people here are Israelis. And if you go to the supermarket, you can find everything you want, just like in Israel. So I feel it's just like you said, it's this third space, it's in the middle. You're not here and you're not there. And that's why you don't actually belong kind of you belong to both sides. I feel it's kind of weird because for me personally, you asked, when I go to Israel, they feel that I'm not fully on Israel. They can sense it. They can see, because in the store I'm like, thank you, toda rabba, thank you so much, and they're like, bye.
Oh, I've heard those stories about like kids from Britain. So say you are a kid who's born into the United Kingdom and your mom is Brazilian, and you go to a Sunday school and there's like classes in Portuguese, and there's also Portuguese classes so that you hold on to your heritage. And then you go to Brazil for the first time and they don't say please and thanks as many times as, as it's just that they're not used to that. And they're like, okay, well, like, you sound like you're from around here, because again, they were exposed to the Brazilian accents because their teachers were Brazilian, but they sound like, well, they're from the UK, and it just wasn't making any sense to the people that they were now being exposed to.
That's
It was just
exactly
like,
it.
what's wrong with your kids? What'd you do to them? You beat them?
This is it. So this is it. That's what sometimes even when I date, they ask me, what do you feel? Do you feel like you're more Israeli or you're more American? Like, what's more, I'm like, first of all, where you grew up, that's that's where everything started. So for me, the Israeli side is like, stronger. And it's funny because I do have a side that's American. 100%. I'm very much, I have those things that Israelis won't understand necessarily. And it's like two sides of you that you have to play with. It's just two sides. So back to feeling belonging, for me, every time it's a little different, Sometimes when I'm in Israel, I sense that belonging, and when I'm here, I'm finding my belonging here. But personally, I don't 100% belong. For now, it's kind of blurry.
Blurriness is the answer, because that's exactly, I so relate to that. Bigger.
Actually,
so many of us as adults, we kind of think to ourselves, okay, well, we think that intellectually, if we understand how it works, then somehow we can do it somehow. Later on down the line, it'll just happen. What?
Yeah. No, it's very true. I know.
No. You're just like, no, do it now. Do it now.
Exactly. It's just about, yesterday I taught someone who was like, I feel like I don't know. I don't speak so well. I try. In my head, it all works. When I think about it, it makes sense. But when I say it, just I'm like, I'm gonna give you a secret. You know what's gonna help? It's like, what? It's a secret. You can't tell anyone. It's like, what? Just start speaking more. You don't speak enough. That's the only thing. Speak more. Speak more. That's it.
Absolutely. And I think this ties into the next question. I think it's got to do with shame and pride and, well, psychology, basically. So, so learning, right? It's a psychological process as much as it is a linguistic one and a cognitive one. And I'm just wondering, how do you actually say the words shame, pride? How do you actually tackle that with an adult who's not even aware of those things happening? Why is it that you don't?
You know what? I like a different word. Like I agree with both of your words.
For instance,
ego.
Oh,
ego is the hardest thing here because you don't want to make a mistake. And I teach a lot of men.
Ooh, you do?
They make money, and I love them all.
I don't.
I told them all to listen to this podcast when it comes out. So if you do listen, guys, I love you all. But I do want to say, They are very successful in terms of
Mhm.
money. They're very successful in terms of, who they are as men. And then they're trying something new. Okay, I have to do this. I have
Yeah.
this important meeting. I have this important thing. And then I'm this lady. Hi. Let's learn English together. Let's work on your accent. And then I tell them, oh no, you made a mistake. Let's work on it. And they're like, wait, what? What did you just say? And then their ego is hurt so badly. You're fixing me for they're not even getting it. How could you fix me? Especially when they're Israeli. So I look at them and I tell them, listen, Habibi. It's like, listen, my friend.
Wait.
Let me help you here. We are the first thing I tell them before we even start is you need to realize that now you're going back in the time tunnel and you're going back into being a child. Because when you were a child, when you learned Hebrew, which is your first native language, how did people teach you how to speak? You made a mistake. It's like, it's not nana, it's banana, right? This is how they taught you. I'm going to teach you the same way. So I tell them, you're my child right now. I teach you just like, and then it's like, I make it funny and I make it fun for them.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yeah.
oh, she gets me. So if they make a mistake, first of all, I compliment them for something good.
Sure.
Excellent work on this. You did amazing. There was a little mistake here, but we got this. Let's work on it. The other one was good. It's so hard not being able to express yourself the way that you want to. So you can't bring them down. You have to uplift them. So
Yeah.
this thing about ego, about getting hurt, right? You don't want to feel less than what you are. So as you said, your teacher is so important. When you have a good teacher, you don't feel this way. You actually
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I'm smart. Oh, I'm actually learning here. So you feel the opposite of that. But I do agree that the hard part is when you go outside. So let's say, as I said, my homework, I don't want my students to feel like they're actually a student in a high school or elementary school. I want them to actually feel and get results. We have a deadline. You have an audition. You have to go on a stage. This person wants to just have a business starting, and this person just want to go to the supermarket and speak with someone, the cashier. So every student of mine is different, but they're all the same because at the end they all need to face their reality. And even though the challenging parts are different for each one, they still face the same thing. And it's this fact that they need to understand that they should make mistakes. Even if we prepared for this audition, we worked on the accent, and then you made a mistake. That's fine. It's part of the process. So I speak to them about it. I tell them, I prepare them. You might make a mistake. That's fine. You should be so happy about it because this is the only way we learn. For me, it's just giving compliments and uplifting someone instead of bringing them down. And I do tell them all of the things they should see and fix and be aware of. But I think that it also depends. As I said before, when I work with actors, I have so much fun because they don't mind having someone fixing them and telling them what to do. And I'm like a Russian, you probably know how Russian teach. I'm very much
Let's
like this. I'm
go.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do this again. Давай. Like again and again and again. And I do this thing that I just kind of doing repetition with them, especially when I work on accent. And with other people, I know I cannot do the same way because they're not able to handle it. So it depends on the character that's in front of me.
For sure. Right.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking about right now is how whenever you do get out of the proverbial comfort zone, and there's, you're bound to make mistakes, right? And you did touch upon that with the businessmen thinking that they're not supposed to be seen making mistakes because, come on, me, the powerful of the world. We're not to be seen in such positions. No, no, no. But the thing is, I do remember that feeling and the way I interpreted it, like being. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to formulate it, but I am going to try and attempt it. So it's like taking your own narcissistic side for a vulnerability. It's like I am. And it could be both at once, I suppose. So it's kind of like thinking, I don't want to make a certain impression that is going to be a not good enough impression. And somehow you think that that sort of thinking is good. It's like I am trying to be this best version of myself for someone else, supposedly, right? But in truth, who do you think you are that you are going to be the best version of yourself at all times? And that somehow you are to stay this best way, whatever it's supposed to be, at all times in front of this or that individual. Who do you think you are? How are you better than all the others who are somehow supposed to tolerate their not so good versions of themselves and live with their mistakey versions of themselves? But you're going to suffer and just feel so terrible, post such mistakes. It's like, why is it that you are putting yourself like into this superior position, and you're putting yourself onto this pedestal where you are too good to make a mistake, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So
What
it's
you're
like,
saying is
yeah.
so important and such a key point. It's a start point to everything.
Mhm.
When you understand that you don't have to be perfect, when you understand,
Right.
it's just like you said, I loved it the way you said it. Who do you think you are? Who do you
Yeah.
think you are that you're this perfect creature on this planet that
Right.
has to be perfect all this time, like all the time? And it really brings me back to who I was in
Mm-hmm.
my teenage era. I guess
Right.
I
Right.
was I was thinking that, okay, perfection, this is the goal.
Right.
Perfection is the goal. I gotta be a perfect daughter. I gotta be the perfect sister. I have to be the perfect student. Perfect, 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 perfect. Everything has to be
Mm-hmm.
perfect. And it consumed me in every aspect in my life. I
Right.
felt that even when I was turning 20, I started feeling this feeling of, I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
tired of being perfect all the time. And then I started feeling angry. Angry. I started being angry at my mom and everyone was
And all those
around.
other people.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'm like,
Right.
It's not their fault. They're not telling me to be perfect. They're not actually telling me you cannot make a mistake. It's something in my head. And it was
Mm-hmm.
actually something that I realized. And it's the question that you said. And I asked myself the same thing. Who do I think I am? It's okay
Mm-hmm.
to make a mistake. It's okay to be this silly me. There is a part of me that's very, very silly. My family call me the clumsiest person in the entire world. Everything falls.
Mm-hmm.
I get hurt just like you heard. My phone just fell. Everything is very clumsy around me. And I remember I always tried hiding it. Like, no, like, like everything has to be so proper. And when I let that go, I'm like, this is amazing. This is so much fun. And of course, it comes into the idea of learning a new language. Because I remember these moments where my face turned so red and my entire body was sweating. I actually remember these feelings. I
Oh
can
yeah.
remember it right now. It's the worst feeling on earth. I agree. It's not
Yeah.
fun. But
Yeah.
it's only because you're not letting yourself make a mistake. Now, in this podcast, I made many mistakes. Do I care? No, I'm a human. I make mistakes. Maybe I said 4 instead of 2 because I have this issue sometimes. And I
Well,
teach
if you did,
that.
I didn't even notice. That's another thing, right? So it's
Exactly.
just because I'm not sitting here being all like, okay, what's
And
happening?
you're
No,
not the only one.
I'm
Almost
here to connect with you, right?
100%. That's what
Yeah.
people should understand, that when you're standing in front of people, they're not even noticing your mistakes because you're the only one
Yeah.
who's fully aware of yourself and what you want to say, right? So
Yeah.
let's say when I prepare someone to speak in front of an audience, we have the script, but I never learn with them the exact script.
Yeah, that's
Because sometimes
crazy.
we
Yeah.
change it up. Because what happens
Yeah.
if you don't remember it? You have to kind of
That's
use
it. You
your
just,
brain.
you're going to glitch. Right.
Exactly. And that's it. You're blocked. So the point is that it's so important to be aware that it's so okay to make mistakes. And I know it's a journey. For me, it was a journey as well. And when you get to that point, I made a mistake. No one notices. Let's move on. It's so fun. It's so fun to live your life like this. When you speak a
Mm,
language, when you start a new job, when you start doing social media, a podcast, doesn't matter. Let it go.
yes.
And the key question someone should ask themselves is what you said. Who do you think you are? I love that.
It's so liberating, right? And
Yeah.
it just really shifts the perspective. Because it's the whole like, why do you care what other people think? No, it's who do you think you are? It's just like it's kind of it just changes something. The tone of it, it just kind of like
It's
it
like
there's
putting a mirror.
pinchiness to it. Yes,
Yeah.
which is what therapy is supposed to do for you, by the way. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, not that I need to tell you, but that's
Trust me,
kind of the point.
every therapist needs a therapist.
Oh, exactly. They got the supervisors. If they don't,
Mhm,
no, that's a
mhm.
charlatan. That's not a therapist. Careful, look out. If you could whisper one message, okay, so there's some limitations to this, to every immigrant, okay, or expat, someone who's living outside of their home, original home, who feels that their accent is holding them back, what would that message be?
Ooh, I feel like I don't want to be repetitive.
Who do you think you are? Is
Yeah.
that going to be no, probably not. That's the perfectionist message. This is going to be a bit discouraging. You probably don't want to go there.
That would bring
That's
them
a bit demoralizing.
Yeah, let me think for a second. I think
Sure.
I
Oh, you
think
take all the time you need. Yeah.
I think this is it. I think it's slow down. Slow down, just like I did right now. I need to take a second to think. It's very important to slow down because when you think in your first language, your brain doesn't need much time to process what you want to say to actually speaking, right? It's this thing. I think about it and then I bring it out. But when you're speaking a second language, and if, of course, you're in the process of learning it, right? It's like, hold on, from this language to this language, and then it goes out. So slow it down. Slow it down. It will help your accent. It will help your process of thinking to actually, wait, what do I want to say? Just don't think that you need to be in the same pace or expect yourself to be in the same pace as you are in your first language. So this one secret I tell, it's like this whisper that I whisper in my students' ears, is just slow down. Slowing down is a magic trick. Just like I did right now. I don't know if you noticed.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like take a moment.
Take a moment.
breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. For your first language as well, y'all. You know what?
100%.
Slow down, per se. Right.
I also teach like body language and I teach confidence. So it's so important when you're showing you're someone else. Like when I want you to see me as a confident person, if I speak very, very, very fast, you're probably not even your self-conscious is going to see me as nervous, as right. So
True.
there are 3 things. First of all, speak from your stomach. I'm not going to speak from here. I'm going to speak from here. Here, here. So it's 2 different things. The other thing, speak slower. Oh, we said that, but I'm going to say it again. And the third thing.
Repeat the main points. That's the third thing.
Exactly. No, exactly. You just said it. You start something, always conclude what you say.
Yeah.
So we just had a podcast. We have to have a conclusion of everything we just mumbled and rumbled, right? So we have to give a conclusion to everything that you're saying. And then it doesn't matter, first language, second language, obviously if it's your second language. So this is it, advice that I can give.
I love that. That's
you.
something to conclude with.
Yeah.
Most certainly. Slow down, y'all.
Slow it down. In every aspect, just slow it down. Enjoy every second of it.
Oof. All right. Well, you guys, look at this.
This was fun.
I know, right? We've
This was
hit
so fun.
psychology.
Yeah.
We've hit bilingualism, multilingual. I'm doing what you told me to do. Okay, so
yes, I was about to say, quick learner. Have a good student here.
That's me, y'all.
I know.
So we've got, well, I don't think we've used the word identity, but I think we've talked about identity this whole time. That's what we've been doing.
We can't just run away from it. It's
absolutely
big part. For me, being Jewish, being religious, being Israeli, it's part of who I am. Doesn't reflect everything about me, but it's a big part of who I am. So yeah, we spoke about that a little.
It's like a personal profile, right? And you ought to extend it a little little by little. And
Yeah.
that's what helps you belong, I think.
Exactly. You know what? The best way to teach other is by being a good example, right? Just like even in
Oh,
parenting. I learn it from my sister all the time. She doesn't tell her kids to not yell when she's yelling. It's weird, right? If she's
uh,
telling them not to yell, she's actually whispering it, not yelling. So
mm,
the same way, if we're teaching people here some stuff, some ideas, some thoughts, whatever, we have to show them that we're actually kind of doing the same thing.
absolute.
I
Okay.
really had fun. This was amazing.
Okay. Come out to New York, okay?
I don't want it to
This
end.
was the same here, you guys. This was Avia, my colleague, my friend, or so I like to think.
Yes,
And she's in LA, but she'll be here in New York soon.
I will. I
Yeah.
actually will. I
Uh-huh.
will let you
Okay, see,
know.
well, she said it. Okay,
I said it
so
out
now
loud.
she's
Everybody can hear me.
there we are. Okay.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. I hope I didn't
And
speak way too much. I know when I start speaking, it
you
just all comes out.
absolutely did not. Just the right amount.
Yay.
Okay.
I'm happy. It was
Okay.
amazing. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this opportunity. And I hope people enjoyed listening to this.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming out.